So, welcome again, everyone, and good to see us all joining live after a long, I think, 2 weeks break. And so, we were continuing with psychic education, and as I shared, we were following mostly this book on psychic education, workbook, which I had shared a PDF with all of you in the Integral Education WhatsApp group. If any of us want it, you can ping me, I can share if you don't have it. Um, and Nowadays I'm just adding on to other teachings along with the Mothers and Sri Aurobindo. I'm using a lot of help from many contemporary masters who give very clear guidelines on awakening the psychic within. And it's the same, the inner. Yeah, Aradhana ji, yes, I'll share. So it's the inner basic innate goodness in us. So in Buddhism it can be called as bodhicitta, and it doesn't matter if integral yoga calls it psychic being. It's one and the same thing. It's our innate goodness, wanting to help others, being kind to others, compassionate to others, not trying to harm anyone knowingly. So all this is our true nature. And it's beautiful to have lots of support nowadays because everything is online. We have so many teachings online available from so many masters at any point, 24/7. You can make use of our mobile phones for a good cause. uh, yeah. So additionally, I'm just supporting all this path along with other teachings also, which I keep sharing on the groups also. Yeah. So anything anyone wants to share, any personal reflection, anything one is maybe thinking about and wants to put forward to the group before we start the slides today. You can unmute and share if you have anything that you want to talk about. If not, that's also okay. Okay. So I'm assuming there is nothing at the moment and putting on the slides then. So I think I'm not sure. I didn't check where did we leave last. It was almost here. We were talking about how the outer nature, the shell of the crust of the outer nature, egoistic personality, it's so hard. Our tendencies, our patterns, they're very sticky, very, very sticky. And even if we think that we have made a baby step forward, they come again with a greater force. All of us have seen that. Jealousy, resentment, hatred, anger, blaming someone, victimizing oneself, I poor me, and maybe vanity, pride. So all this belongs to the outer nature, and we see it coming up again and again and again in us. And it can also serve as a means to grow compassion, because if I see all these uglinesses in me, it's okay, I see it in you. So we are on the same ground. I'm not superior, you're not inferior. And it helps when we are able to see all this weakness and ugliness in us. And we see that we are doing okay. We are not really a bad person. And just like that, the other person also, if people have, all of us have these weaknesses, he's not basically a bad person, right? Improvements are to be made throughout our life. So then we become more compassionate, that it's okay that if you became angry, I also become angry. It's okay if there is jealousy in you, I have been jealous too. So then when we recognize and we become conscious of our nature, outer nature, and see it with compassion, then we are able to see and accept others for who they are right now, not wanting to fix them and change them all the time. So the outer nature is tough and it will not easily listen to the psychic, the light of goodness. So imagine that you have a person with whom you are attached, and there is a lot big difference between attachment and love. And if you see that, yes, I'm attached to that person, try sending good wishes to that person and see how much resistance you encounter. It would not be easy. It would not be easy if there is a person who comes again and again in your thoughts, and uses a lot of your thought space. Try sending, may you be contented and joyful, and see how hard it is, even for many people who we claim to love. So, and when we encounter resistance, then we just have to know that I have to now work on making myself more soft and mellow, breaking the resistance. Yeah.
Yeah, Monica, sorry,
Yeah, yeah,
sorry to
yeah.
interrupt. See, just now you said if you are attached to some person, try sending them love. But why we love them? No, we are so attached. Why there will be resistance?
Actually, I have seen that in my experience, there is a difference between love
Huh?
and the places where we are attached.
Okay.
Places where we are attached,
Hmm.
at those places, I have my selfish interest from that person.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
For example, if there is a friend,
Ah.
and I'm attached to a friend, and if the friend is moving away, physically moving away from me, I
Okay.
would not be feeling happy and glad about it.
Okay.
On the other
Yes.
hand, if I truly love the person without my self interest, then I would say, okay, wherever you may go, may be happy and well and joyful.
Okay.
Really
Okay.
So,
difficult.
yeah, it's difficult to see, and to see that there are, we all are attached at some points, and we all deeply love at some points, right? So, with some persons, I have a very non sticky kind of a friendship, that I always wish well for that friend of mine, because I have no self interest associated. I don't want that person to stick to me and call me and stay with me all the times. So wherever he goes, may he be happy and well. But there may be a couple of people in my life who I want to grab. They must be very close to me. And when they go away, for example, I'm using one example, that they physically go away, then
Hmm.
I'm not able to accept this, that how can they physically go away? They were supposed to be with me. We were having such a good time. So here my self interest is there. So I've seen that wherever my self interest is there, that this person is supposed to make me happy, how can that person leave? Their attachment is there, which has to be purified. And there, if I work on myself, I can see sending out wishes for that person, that no matter wherever you go, may you be well and happy, whether I am in your life or not in your life.
Okay. Okay.
So it's a something microscopic that one can observe. And yeah, it's a bit tricky and microscopic, yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Monica.
Also, I feel that this. Can I share, Malka?
हाँ हाँ, बिल्कुल बिल्कुल,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, ये जो अभी आपने बताया ना टोंगलिन का प्रोसेस, मुझे लगता है हाँ, मतलब लव भी है, अटैचमेंट भी है, बहुत अच्छे से हो पा रहा है, बट जहाँ पर थोड़ी अटैचमेंट नहीं है, मतलब उन लोगों के लिए जो आप रेजिस्टेंस बोलते हो ना, वो हो रहा है व्हेन आई ट्राई, मतलब थोड़ा सा लाइक आई नो दैट पर्सन एंड लाइक मुझसे दूर है और मुझे पर्सनली इमोशनली आई एम नॉट इन्वॉल्व एंड देन लाइक वो बट आई एम फीलिंग फॉर देयर सफरिंग एंड मैं कोशिश कर रही हूँ कि ओके लेट मी ट्राई टोंगलिन, सो अपनों के लिए बहुत आराम से हो पा रहा है, बट जो थोड़े डिस्टेंस पे है एंड आई एम जस्ट ट्राइंग टू एक्सप्लोर टोंगलिन, वो फिर कहीं पे रेजिस्टेंस थोड़ा आ रहा है, सो
Yeah, yeah. I think that's okay. Resistance is a beautiful thing if you are able to see that resistance is arising, because that's where lies our work.
हम्म. Yeah, it
And
just tells me कि okay, अभी मतलब benevolent तो वगैरह बहुत दूर की बात है, मतलब it just tells you कि how it's your selfish interest, जहाँ आपको लगता है आपको प्यार है, बहुत आराम से आप उनके सफरिंग को इनहेल कर पा रहे हो, जहाँ आपको लग रहा है कि आपको बस वेल विश, यू नो, you're a well wisher and you mean, but फिर भी उनके सफरिंग को इनहेल करने में रेजिस्टेंस आ रहा है.
resistance इसलिए भी होती है श्वेता, many a times I have observed that many a times I have ideas in the head to which I am attached, that this is what they should be doing and that's why they are suffering.
No. Okay, like that could be one thing, but I'm referring to, like, you know, somebody like just million, somebody just shared something, you know, I'm not attached, or जैसे कि मिले and कुछ शेयर किया and आपको, you know, बुरा लगा and like, you know, कि अरे इनके साथ ऐसा क्यों हो गया, and yet उनकी सफरिंग इतनी डीप है, आप सोच रहे हो लेट मी इनहेल दैट सफरिंग, थोड़ा सा हिचकिचाहट हो रही है कि
Okay,
हाँ,
got that.
कि मुझे, यू नो, लाइक मैं इनहेल कर लूं ये इतनी सारी सफरिंग, यू नो, लाइक कोई अनजान, लाइक, यू नो, लाइक जस्ट सुनकर
Yeah,
आपको बुरा लगता है,
yeah.
लेकिन उनकी सफरिंग इनहेल करने की अभी आपकी क्षमता नहीं है.
Yeah. And don't, we don't have to push ourselves. So I have explored Tonglen only when I have been suffering myself.
अच्छा, ओके.
So the process of Tonglen is actually utilizing your suffering. So when, for example, when a loved one is leaving me, I know that I am attached to that loved one and I'm suffering because of that attachment. I don't want the person to go away. I'm suffering, I'm not feeling good inside. I cannot wish well for the person that even if you go away, be happy all the time. I am not able to, right? So
ओके.
I see the torture of attachment in me. And while I'm in the middle of this torture of attachment in me, I say, oh, now I understand how people suffer when they are attached. So only inhale, because we take baby steps. We don't have to inhale all the suffering. If I am suffering right now with attachment,
राइट.
then I connect with all the people who are suffering like me being attached.
ओके. बट
Then yeah, and only inhale that suffering, and exhale contentment and joy for them.
इसका देखो अलग ये पर्सपेक्टिव से, लाइक सी इफ माय लव्ड वन इज सफरिंग, ओके,
Hmm.
so I'm suffering, so I'm
Yeah.
able to inhale and you know, like exhale peace and joy. but जहाँ पे मैं सोची किसी के दर्द से मुझे दर्द हुआ बट मेरी अटैचमेंट नहीं है, वो मुझे दर्द तो हुआ ना, लेकिन वो मैं इनहेल कर रही थी तो मुझे नहीं हो पाया,
हाँ,
like,
अब इसी को आप यूज कर सकते हो, देखो कैसे.
हाँ.
So I am looking at a person who is suffering.
हम्म.
I want to inhale their suffering and breathe out joy and contentment for them,
हम्म.
and I'm unable to do that.
हम्म.
So this is suffering for me,
हम्म.
that I am unable to do that. This is making me uneasy. So now I connect with all the people who want to help others but are not able to. So you bring it back to here and now. What is happening in you right now?
okay.
And
Okay.
you become easy.
Right. ठीक है.
So
Got it.
being with the raw experience that you are having right now,
हम्म.
है ना?
ठीक है.
And then if I relax, for example, other day this person was, somebody was sharing that I'm not able to let go of my anger. So no worries. So how do you feel inside yourself? It's a very uneasy feeling when I'm trying to let go of anger, but I'm not, So in that suffering, I connect with all the people who are trying to let go of their anger, but they are not. They are feeling uneasy like me.
Okay. Then you relate to, oh, yeah, I got the perspective. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you
It's
understand work.
quite
Yeah.
expansive, we can just twist it in any which way and bring it to the here and now and utilize it. Yeah.
And shift consciousness.
Shift
Yeah.
consciousness. Absolutely. Because I have seen that when I was attached and I was suffering because a loved one is leaving me, it is intense suffering, turmoil, I'm not at ease. The moment I, even for 2 minutes, connect with all the people who are being attached and suffering like this, I see that in 2 minutes, I'm not suffering anymore.
Hmm.
Where did the suffering go?
No,
So,
it is powerful. Yeah.
very, very powerful. Yeah.
Monica ji, just a question here.
Yeah.
This technique of Tonglin, I got to know from you, but as I was thinking about it, I was just wondering this concept of taking in the suffering. Isn't I mean, is it like, I mean, won't it be like sort of increasing the suffering that's already there?
Uh, so this is what you have to test yourself, Ashwarya, I would say. Test.
Okay. Okay.
Experiment. We have,
Okay.
we can
Okay.
experiment.
Yeah.
Try, if you feel an unease within you at any instant of time, and you
Yeah.
become conscious of that unease, whether it is because of anger, jealousy, hatred, attachment, whatever unease that you feel, in the middle of that, if you become conscious of that unease, that right now I am in discomfort and unease, and if you can connect, okay, now I understand how people
Karan, right.
suffer when they are in unease like this. So I inhale all the suffering of all those people, including myself, and exhale, may they be peaceful and joyful, and see whether it increases your suffering or decreases, or maybe nothing
Yeah,
happens.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's an encouragement. Thank you. Thank you for that.
And I think I was reading somewhere that Buddha never said that faith alone is enough. Buddha said that test your practices, and unless you are convinced, don't follow them. So I think there it's true for each and every. Mother also said so, that uh, if having faith in me is not helping you, then don't have faith in me. Mother didn't say that, but I'm just kind of extrapolating. But we know that whenever we find comfort in her presence, her inner presence, her remembrance, we do feel content and peaceful. So it's for us to test, and without testing we cannot be convinced whether we should be doing it or not. Yeah. And this
Yeah,
is, yeah.
yeah, thank you. I mean, I needed that push. Yeah, thank you.
We all need that push, in our own ways, all of us. Yeah. And so this awakening of the psychic, again, there are so many tools, so many things that are there, and the biggest thing that we encounter, as we were discussing, was the outer nature. Now at moments we can see that outer nature is an obstacle, but is it so? Outer nature is a raw material, because I have the power, all of us. It's not only for few people who are stronger and have great willpower, not at all of us have inner light, all of us have devotion, and if we can awaken it and use that light to be shed upon on the outer nature, all the recalcitrant parts of our being, the resistances, making, as Shweta was sharing her example, making daily life as a raw material for growth, then the outer nature will not appear as an obstacle. Then it will appear like a raw material, like you have raw vegetables and then you make the cooked food. So raw vegetables is the outer nature, anger, jealousy, attachment, whatever, and the cooked food is your innate goodness. So I make use of all that raw material. Nothing is an obstacle on the path. Yeah, and then in the first paragraph, it is said that it is to hold it up to the highest ideal or to the inner light. So, what does it mean? It means that if I become conscious of something in me which is appearing ugly and dark, which I don't want, which is making me suffer, then I become, first of all, conscious of it. I show it either to the mother, look, this is happening again. Now, I don't want to act according to this, you hold this. Once you have given it to the mother, no thinking back, no second thoughts and taking it back from the mother. But we do take back. We do take back. And if we take back, we know that we suffer. something makes us uneasy again whenever we act from that darkness. So whenever again we become conscious of it, we offer it to the mother. Mother, sorry, I took back again. Here it belongs to you. So like that, highest ideal or the inner light or to the mother. And I can also, how I personally also many a times use this higher or inner light is that, so something is coming up in me, some tendency or some attached pattern, very hard pattern, and I've suffered enough through that pattern. I don't want it now. There is I would say there is a will in me which says I don't want to act according to this dictate. This itself is a higher light. When you choose that you don't want to act according to the dictates of limited nature, outer nature, which is very limited, always full of jealousy, expectations, demands. So they will keep on rising. But if I see them rising and I choose, I'm not going to step into your trap, this is also a light. And I come back to my breath, cling to my breathing, and I see that nothing is that important as I make it so. Nothing is that important. Most important thing is being true to my path, staying true to my path, realizing my true nature. And for that, I will have to give up many people in life many a times. I will have to give up many jobs. I will have to give up many, many good things, so to say, because nothing else matters but staying true to my path, which is awakening to my true nature. Coming back to the breath again and again and knowing everything rest as a dream almost. Everything rest is not important, not as important as we think it to be. We drain so much energy in wanting to win arguments and you know really have name, fame, run around here and there, but we see that even then we remain empty handed. So coming back to the breath again and again, staying as awareness, which is our true nature, which is again truly a realization. Here is a long, long journey, but at least we know the baby steps. And masters have said that we think that we are awake, but we are dreaming. All the time we are dreaming. So all the thoughts that I'm thinking all the time about me, about others, about this life situation, about that life situation, this is what I feel right, this is what I feel wrong. All this is a dream. So one can laugh about it and let it go. That let this dream go away. I don't want to now keep on sleeping. And that's why they again and again have pushed us to waking up to our true nature. Who are we truly? So there we begin to live within, when we don't give outer phenomenon that much of importance. And I think I was sharing with some of you, I'll share it here again because I think it's relevant in context of our thoughts and feelings. So there is this, in quantum physics, we talk about subatomic particles, particles which are even smaller than atoms, like neutrons, protons, photons, and electrons. Even further divisions have been there. And the quality of these particles is that if I'm observing these particles under maybe a microscope or whatever, not a microscope, maybe something intense, sometimes these particles behave as wave, sometimes these particles behave as a particle. So now a particle is a solid thing, like it is a thing, right? A wave is something wavy. There, not there, we can't say, like a wave. Huh? Now, same with the thoughts and feelings. The more repetitive thinking goes on in my head, the more solidity, particle nature I give to my thoughts and feelings. That yes, they are true. Yes, they are true. I experienced it. Yes, it's true. Right? So I'm making it solid. I'm making it particle. The more I come back to the breath, know myself as awareness. I'm awareness of the breathing. I am the awareness which looks at the thoughts. Then what happens? I don't give that solidity to my thoughts and feelings, which is the outer nature. Just like we don't give that solidity to our dreams. They are there and then they're gone. Where are they? So it's like empty bubble. You touch it and fish, empty. So just like that, our thoughts and feelings also get a wave of particle character according to, and in science they say it depends on whether it will behave like a wave or a particle depending on who is looking. Isn't that amazing? So if the egoistic consciousness is looking, then my story appears very, very solid. Yes, this happened with me. Yes, I went through this, very solid. But if I stay true to my nature, then all the thoughts and past and memories appear just nothing but a dream. Very wavy, very surreal. They don't burden me that much as they do when I'm making them solid, just thinking of myself as that role that I play of a mother or a whatever, wife or a child, daughter, daughter-in-law. So I found this absolutely beautiful and marvelous, and it can be used in our day-to-day life, that all of it is actually a dream. Now it depends on me whether I want to look at it like a wave or whether I want to give it so much of importance and make it heavy. And this particle nature of thought makes us heavy, it weighs down on us. The whole head goes brimming here and there, full of thoughts, full of feelings. And this is our outer nature. So whether I want to be on the surface heavy or whether I want to live deeper within, knowing that on the outer, whatever goes on, I don't have to give it that much of importance. So this is just one way of looking at these things, very helpful I found. So I thought I'll put it forward.
I understood it now that you put in perspective with thoughts and awareness. Because this wave and particle, I have also read and heard, but मेरे को कभी ये समझ नहीं आता था कि how to make sense of it. You understand it theoretically, but to apply it बिल्कुल नहीं समझ आ रहा था. But today थोड़ा समझ आया, then you make it like this. Yeah, use this analogy. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's much wisdom in quantum physics. And people who are true quantum physicists, they say that if quantum physics does not make you dizzy in the head, then you don't know it. It's, the mind wants to grasp it, but it's ungraspable. And it's same with the divine. Divine cannot be grasped. So when we want to take a stance as awareness, you see how intangible it is. You're not able to grasp it. No? So quite interesting, very interesting.
Yeah, true. And it changes as per your perception. No? That's what, because that's what I would never understand in this wave and particle, like ये ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है? But
Yeah,
थोड़ा समझ आया.
yeah, beautiful. Yeah. And this also tells me that the same thing which I am making very heavy for me right now, thinking about it in loop, tuk, 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 I can make it lighter by coming back to the breath and not giving it that much of importance. Gone. It will come up again because the moment I think about it, it'll come up again. So then I am in a tizzy, whether it's a particle or a wave, whether it's truly there or not there. But then it's totally up to me. We are the masters of our life, although we don't know it, but yeah.
I think it was very beautifully quantum physics connected to this. When you said quantum physics, आप जब पढ़ रहे हो तो it is going to make you feel dizzy. या MSc physics करते हुए quantum physics किया है, and I can completely relate that yes, it used to make my head dizzy unless and until I am able to understand what is happening there. It would make me restless, uneasy, कि ये क्या है जो समझ नहीं आ रहा है, what is this? But so beautifully this was related here to thoughts and feelings, and amazing. I think it was,
You have a master's in physics?
yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
wow. I hope I didn't say something wrong.
You know, she topped the university.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
मैं सब भूल गई हूँ. What I now remember is only my little kids syllabus, छोटे बच्चों वाला. सब भूल गई हूँ.
Yeah. So I think that was it's very grounding. And most of the people who are quite genius in their fields, like Albert Einstein or, Richard Feynman, a physicist, Niels Bohr, all these people, if we look at their reflections and quotes, we see that how grounded they were, knowing very clearly that it's a mystery not to be solved that easily. And there is such a higher intelligence at work which one cannot fathom by limited mind. So then it humbles us, it grounds us when we know the magnanimity of things going on. Yeah. Yeah. Anyone else want to share anything?
Yeah. So
Yes.
I actually observed this very pattern very recently. So I think a week or two back. So when this happens, so there was a constant feeling inside me that I'm feeling very heavy. Like I want to be free. I want to be like breeze, but there's something stopping me. So then I didn't realize it that at the time, but then last week when I got some time to think, I felt that there's some thought that is it's sort of like a fear, like that shouldn't go wrong, that shouldn't go wrong. It's a very it's like a parasite. It's just it sticks on and it becomes an illusion, and at that time you can't figure out like what is happening. So that sort of goes on for like it went on for a week or two, and then today I'm like, no, that should go away because I don't want to feel heavy anymore. So whatever you said makes really that actually was resounding what I was trying to figure out inside as to how to really get over this. So I think when it weighs down so heavily that you can't even think uh, as to like how to sort the situation out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why, that's why it confuses us whether it's there, this problem that I'm thinking of, whether it's truly there. What's the thing, that's why I think that's why they say divine comedy because we don't know what's happening.
Yeah,
Sometimes the same thing will make me so serious, and sometimes the same thing doesn't matter, now it doesn't
yeah,
matter.
it is
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why masters have also called the path effortless. But we know how much effort it takes to be effortless, because we are so used to put in so much of effort every time that if we are not putting effort, that oh my god, maybe something is wrong with me. I'm maybe too villa or nothing much to do. Yeah, but I think we always have something to do, which is to keep coming back to the breath. That itself is a task for a lifetime. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think what Meera just reflected upon, that if I'm thinking and rethinking about something which is making me uneasy. So Mother shares that if I have done something, either in speech or action or thought, which is not in accordance to my true nature or highest ideal, then it leaves me this feeling of uneasiness. Mm. So either I'm obsessively thinking about a problem, again leaves me uneasy. If I'm thinking bad about someone, makes me uneasy. If I'm thinking about my own self-image again and again, which I have created, makes me uneasy. I don't feel right about it. So this feeling of uneasiness, if we can consciously recognize and then let go of whatever I am putting energy in, and instead of particle nature, take it to the wavy character, yes, it's like a dream and not that important. At times it's hard to do, but yeah, I think we all have that tool at least in front of us. Yeah, and then Mother says that if it is not in conformity with our true nature, if it not, it's the action that I have done, the speech that I have maybe blurted out, if it's not in accordance with my true nature, it'll leave a shadow. So this is why we say karm hi phal hai. The karm that we do, the action that I do, is itself the result of the action. So one result is that I go get in a time duration. So if I'm smoking cigarette today, after 10-15 years I may get ill. That is one result, right? The other result is right now. Right now, when I'm involved in an act which is not in accordance to my true nature, it leaves me feeling uneasy. And when I am more with okay, with my breath and content, then I'm not uneasy. So moment by moment, as if we are like pendulum, at times we are easy, all of us. Nothing is bothering us. We don't want anything, no desire, no ambition. And at times we are just burning with something. So like a pendulum we go, and mother says that this is important, all these experiences are important, because if true transformation has to happen, then the very fact that I'm going like a pendulum to the outer nature means that something in the outer nature needs transformation. So I come back again home and then go back to the outer nature, maybe use it as raw material, come back home again. So this, all of us like are like pendulums throughout our life. We have a lot of work that is to be done. Yeah. And as we say all the time, that just keeping at it, keeping at our path, not giving up. Even if we give up, get up again, dust our pants, get up, going, laugh at ourselves at times. It very good not to take ourselves too seriously when we can. At times we enjoy taking ourselves seriously. I also do. So I can't say that we don't enjoy. But at times we can also laugh about ourselves that, oh my God, what was I involved in? And just dust off the pants and shamelessly chart our way ahead, because all of us are in the same boat. So I think this stepping back movement, all of us, maybe whoever is connected with the mother may already be aware of this very powerful tool that mother shares. Not only mother, many masters have said that, for example, when you are angry, and if you become conscious about anger, that yes, it is there, do not act in that. It's hard, very, very hard. That when I am angry, in the middle of anger, I don't take any action. I don't speak out a word. It's very, very hard. But we can do it if we want to. So it's stepping back is the movement of going within, knowing that whatever is coming up is not true to my nature, something from the outer nature. I don't want to act according to that. Okay, let me find out the light first and then act out. And I think, if I'm not wrong, Krishnamurti also says, if you are confused, don't act. But if we are confused, actually, it's a very good state. Because when usually we are angry, we are not confused. We are very sure of the anger. Has anyone being ever confused of anger? We are very sure, no, this was, ye to banta hai. This anger, this gussa, ye to banta hi hai. And hence there is no confusion. But Krishnamurti shares that if you are confused, then it's good not to act. So confusion is a very good place then. That I am angry, but I'm not very sure about my anger. If it has ever happened with you, you are blessed. Mother is with you. So then we can go within, take a quiet time off, and see whether we want to take that step forward, or maybe there is another compassionate way to speaking that out, sharing that out with the person. Usually we are angry on people most of the times. Yeah. So this technique is for those of us who want to use it and want to live within. It's very, very helpful. So whenever I'm too much in the waves and thoughts and emotions, the surface consciousness, as Sharda ji, we don't have such a good room like Sharda ji has now. But I think wherever we find a little solace in our space, maybe go out for a nature walk if that brings you in, going into the bathroom if that is a quiet place, and connecting with the breath, bringing the mind back home, knowing that all that is happening on the surface is just like a dream. I don't have to give it that much of importance. What matters is this moment right now. I'm with the breath, alive, kicking, and then let me take any step forward. Many a times we are not able to do that. It's okay. In just a second, I'll put my battery on. And whenever we can, at least in those times, we should do whenever we can, because that strengthens my muscle of stepping back. So to say that I'm 100 times and I forget all the time. So if 100 times, only one time I can do. Enough. Enough. Not to pressurize us too much that 10 times in the day I was angry and I was not able to do anything. So 11th time when it happens, then do. So it's quite a shameless journey. Because if we get too much into guilt and shame that I've been on this path for so many years and still see nothing is happening, Mother also shares no, not to go into guilt and shame at all. Recognize the mistake, correct the error, Mother says, and move on. In prayers and meditations, also, Mother says again and again that whatever is there, innumerable experiences are required. Go through the experience, make the correction, move on, move on. So, not to go much into guilt, shame, which is again a trap of the ego. Yeah. And usually, I've seen, usually when I'm able to truly step back and connect with my deeper self, whatever action then comes forward in relation to a person, relationship, or outer situation, it's always a kind and compassionate action. It's not a cold action. It's not an indifferent action. So I cannot be connected with my true nature and yet be cold and indifferent to people. That doesn't go together. But that also doesn't mean that I'll be too mushy, like, hugging people all the time. And it doesn't mean that also. So it's warmth. Basically, I have warmth. When we connect to our true nature, we get fulfilled and we have this warmth and joy that we want to now, we can share. Hmm? So Mother is sharing something on stepping back. If one of you would like to read, it would be nice for all of us. Yeah, this part in blue.
Can I?
Yeah, please.
You must always step back into yourself. Learn to go deep within. Step back and you will be safe. Do not lend yourself to superficial forces which move the outside world. If someone is angry with you, do not be caught in his vibrations, but simply step back into yourself, and his anger, finding no support or response, will vanish. Always keep your peace. Resist all temptation to lose it. Never decide anything without stepping back. Never speak a word without stepping back. Never throw yourself in action without stepping back.
Maybe this is too much for us. Never.
I think I decided to read this because I know myself. I have taken so many actions in anger. I have not stepped back and then repented. And when I'm when I'm reading this, it is so much making sense because later on when I actually started doing this, I felt so much of peace within me when I started doing that, not taking any action or not deciding anything in the state of anger. And I realized that there was more peace around me than it used to be. So I can really relate to this what I just read.
Yeah, that's very nice. Beautiful. I think that's the power of practical experiences that we go through in life, that they make us convinced about walking the true path. So, as Kabir ji, one of my favorite couplet, which I say again and again, is where he says that you ran and ran and ran in all the directions that you wanted to run and still did not find what you were looking for. And when the mind was tired of running, then when it settled down within itself, it found what it was looking for. So all of us are looking for lasting joy, peace, happiness, contentment. We think that if outer situation changes, I will find it. We never find it. Even if we find it, it's only for 2 minutes, gone, 2 minutes, gone. And then the mind is tired of trying to fix this, that. It rests within itself, the true nature of the mind, which is awareness itself. And there it is, peace, joy, contentment. It did not have to run. But if I don't run, somehow I'm not convinced. So running, I think, at the moment is required. Yeah.
Yeah, I think in one of the books, there's a series of book conversations with God. When I used to read that, it's very beautifully written there. To know what is beautiful, you really need to experience ugly first, and then you will actually know what beautiful is. So
Mm.
I'm able to, आप पहले पढ़ते हो and you are not aware of something, you don't understand that. When you slowly start becoming aware and understanding these things, you start relating to what you have read before also. So, I can relate to that sentence now, that
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, beautiful. Yes. Actually, what you just shared, Mother also shares something. Uh, so to see, to be conscious of imperfections and ugliness, as you were sharing, within us, and
Hmm.
there is a light within us which knows what is beauty and what is ugly.
Yeah.
No, and if we can stick to with that light, the light of discernment, the light of wisdom and love, that light knows by itself, okay, this movement, it was not a nice movement. No, this movement, yeah, this was a kind movement. So something in us is sitting, which has all the gyan, all the knowledge. We just have to bring it into front. That's where Mother says, bringing the psychic into the front. Let the light of the psychic be our guide. Yeah.
Hi, I think I read a quote, I'm paraphrasing it, and life's experiences is really in line with that. It said something like, the true transformation comes when you're in the middle of the chaos and you realize that you have a choice. And I think it's freedom too. And what Mother's quote really resonated with my experience, like what I think she puts it really beautifully. In the middle of those moments now, I feel like connect. I call it like मैं situation को हावी नहीं होने देती, and what happens is I remind myself that I'm much bigger, and I think in your session sometimes you said it too, and that at that time I really try to connect. I think how Mother said, I find the safe space. I think at first I went there just to find the safe space, because bahar wali thing was so painful that I wanted to find refuge within myself. It kind of, the situation forced me. I couldn't find refuge anywhere else. So I had to turn within. So first it wasn't like so much of a conscious choice, but more to say कि मुझे भागने के लिए जगह ही नहीं है. But slowly with experience, because it came as a pain, like how you say, you use the raw material, and when so slowly and slowly it took me within where I said that is the only place, and it made me bigger and bigger, and where I said now I say कि अब situation कोई भी बड़ी नहीं है मुझसे, so it made me bigger. But I also remember a few years ago, I think some person must have said कि अब जब कोई बोल रहा होता है ना, somebody is angry, make them smaller. जैसे imagine वो छोटे छोटे हो गए हैं. But now I feel the opposite. उसको छोटा करने की जरूरत नहीं है. Within me is so big, you know. So this mother's quote is very beautiful. It really resonates deeply. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
thanks.
just wanted to share my
Yeah,
experience.
beautiful. Yes. Yeah. Actually, I came across something which was very, very powerful. And they say that if you even practice in all of your life, half of a verse, so there are 8 verses. If half of a verse you practice in your life, you'll get enlightenment, you know. And there are 8 verses like that. So I think, although I was not planning to share it, but I think it's a right opportune moment. Let me just dig it out. Wait. And yeah, this is here. I'll share the screen. So this is something from, again, Buddhism, and 8 verses for training the mind. Huh? Now look at these verses, mind-blowing verses. Verse 1. Always hold others as dear and precious. By thinking of all sentient beings as more precious. So, what they are saying is that whoever comes in front of me, usually, where are we? Usually, we are thinking, I am more precious. Let the other person go to hell or whatever, you know. मेरा होना चाहिए, you know, मेरी need fulfillment होनी चाहिए. So, what they are saying in the first verse is, by thinking of all sentient beings as more precious than a wish fulfilling jewel, for accomplishing the highest aim, I will always hold them supremely dear. I will always, whatever person I'm interacting with, they are the most precious being right now, you know, in front of me. So there it also comes the point of self-abnegation. Mother talks about self-forgetfulness, self-abnegation in prayers and meditations. That why we are so suffering, because we are always constantly thinking about me, my story, my needs, my demands, right? That brings us suffering. So how to drop the suffering? To be self-forgetful. And when there is a person in front of me and I'm holding that person as supreme, as most precious, then I'm forgetful of myself, you know, then I make myself nothing, and most important is the other person. Second, I'm just brushing through them today and not going into detail. Consider myself as the lowest among all. Usually, where are we? Hey, I am the one, you know. Look at me, you know, with all the distinction and awards and spiritual rewards and revelations. So here it says, no matter how enlightened you may think you are, consider myself as the lowest among all. Whenever I am in company of others, may I regard myself as the lowest of all. Now, even this part, if we practice, enough for a lifetime. We don't need to go to any other thing, but that's what we suffer, because the mind does not stick to one little mantra, it jumps. May I regard myself as the lowest of all, and from the depths of my heart, cherish others as supreme. Now think about your spouse or sibling or whoever you have problem with. Thinking of them as supreme. Cherish others as supreme. Verse 3, avert afflictions as soon as they arise. So afflictions are these anger, hate, you know, whatever makes us uneasy are afflictions. In my every action, I will watch my mind, and the moment destructive emotions arise, I will confront and avert them strongly, as they will destroy both myself and others. We know how much destruction anger causes, how much destruction jealousy, ambition, pride, hating each other. All this causes so much of destruction. And that day, Tignathan was sharing that when anger arises in me, I can make use of visualization, and I can visualize what people have done in the name of anger. Buildings destroyed, bombs, you know, deployed on countries. In the name of anger, what all destruction has happened. And do I want to destruct myself and others in the name of anger? So using this visualization that what anger can do, and then soothing myself, and not acting through anger. May I cherish this precious treasure. Verse 4. Whenever I see beings who are wicked in nature, again, this is very helpful because all of us come across beings who are, according to us, wicked in nature. Whenever I see beings who are wicked in nature or those overwhelmed by negativities and suffering, I will cherish them as something rare, as though I had found a precious, priceless treasure. So instead of saying that this is something lowly and I don't want to put my hand into dirt, you pick up that dirt and cherish that treasure. Here is the opportunity for growth. Verse 5. Accept the loss on oneself and give the victory to others. Usually we are always trying to make ourselves right, in our arguments and discussions, that what I am saying appears to be more right than what you are saying. So here it says, whenever someone out of envy treats me unfairly with scolding, insults, and more, may I accept the loss upon myself and offer the victory to others. Ki bhaiya jeeto. I don't want to put my point forward. Very hard again to do actually in practice, because this limited mind, it always wants to put its own point forward. I am right. And to let go of the wanting to be right, going within, again living within, and being content with being with breath and awareness, being content there. You offer the victory to others. View those who harm us as spiritual teachers. Now, this is not something new actually, because Kabir also has been saying, keep the people who are critical to you very close to you in your heart, because they are the one who will be making you, without the need of soap and water, they'll make you clean. View those who harm us as spiritual teachers, even when someone whom I have helped or in whom I have placed great hopes. So we were talking other day on one of the groups of betrayal, that somebody has betrayed me, or in one whom I have placed great hopes harms me very unfairly. May I view that person as a true spiritual teacher. So in the middle of whatever is happening, all the unfair, unethical treatment, can I stay with the breath, content with being as awareness, and regard as everything as really coming and going, not give that much of attention to it. So this is what we are trying to do is we are coming back home again and again. Usually our focus shifts on others and we lose home. The moment I come back to my breath and myself, I'm home. No demands, no expectations. Taking and giving, verse 7. In short, both directly or indirectly, may I offer every happiness and benefit to all my mothers, and secretly take upon myself all the harm and suffering of my mothers. I'm not very sure what this verse would mean, but we have explanations which are floating around, which can be looked upon. I'll share more as we discuss later. Verse 8, all things are like illusions. I think this is something which I can relate with personally, because as we were talking, wave or particle, what is true? So my thinking, my thoughts, my past, my roles, all this is illusions. So all things are like illusions. I will learn to keep all these practices untainted by thoughts of 8 worldly concerns, which we were talking earlier, running for pleasure, running away from pain, wanting fame, not wanting rejection, and there are more, 8 worldly concerns. So caught between the duality basically, wanting goodness, not wanting badness. So caught between the duality. These are 8 worldly concerns, untainted by thoughts of 8 worldly concerns. May I recognize all phenomena are like illusions. They are like dream. They are surreal. There's not much truth and weight to them unless I give them weight. and without any clinging, gain freedom from bondage. So if I'm not running for pleasure, not wanting to go away from pain, if I'm not wanting to run to fame and not away from rejection, I'm free. Inward freedom, as we talk of. This is true inner freedom. That whatever experiences come, we let it come. Whatever experiences go, we let it go. So the last line, without any clinging. Usually the problem with us is that we cling to good, not want the bad. And there we become uneasy, we suffer. So without any clinging, I then gain freedom from bondage. And the bondage is this bondage, the 8 worldly concerns. Wanting pleasure, not wanting pain, wanting goodness, not wanting. This is 8 worldly concerns. And they keep me bonded. This is the chakki, Kabir has said, चलती चाकी देख के दिया कबीरा रोए दो पाटन के बीच में साबुत बचा ना कोई. So he says that 2 big stones in which the piece of wheat is getting ground, we are like that. So the 2 pieces are the pieces of duality, pleasure, pain, fame, rejection, and we are ground in between that. We are getting really, that's what he's, and then he shares the next line, that the one who is stuck at the anchor, jo kili se lag rahe, wako bal na bika hoy, and that one does not get stuck in that, and becomes a flower. Now we can make chapati with that. So yeah, I thought I would share this, since what Jasmine was sharing just reminded me of this.
That is, I think, enlightenment only, like long way. It's like, I was just listening as you were reading. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Oh my
very
God.
powerful.
Maybe, but maybe a few times you're able to be there, but when you are, like in your day-to-day engagement, handling, work, I mean, it's like to be aware of all this is, oh my God, it's very, very difficult. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why we have to just remind.
Yeah,
Remind
remind.
ourselves. Yeah. I think yesterday also we had this pain and suffering call where we were talking about, since we forget, we know that we forget. So what do? We remind, we place all the stickers here and there and on the shelves and everywhere, that we get reminded. Just like, Sharda ji's home, mother's picture here, mother's picture there. So what do I do? Because I forget. We all forget. So give us as many reminders as possible.
Or how you said life is a dream, the dream becomes a nightmare. We get a reminder, we have those nightmares to remind us.
Absolutely, absolutely. And if not for a nightmare, I won't really care to wake up. Yeah.
That's true.
Yes. And that's why, most of us come to the spiritual path only when we have been suffering. Mostly our embarkment on this journey is through suffering. Maybe we have lost a loved one, then that's why we become interested in spiritual teachings. Maybe we have undergone a separation in relationship and all our hopes and, things are shattered. So if not for, as Jasmine was sharing, if not for the nightmare that we go through, we would not care to look within and know ourselves beyond these stories. So good for us, I would say, good for us that little bit of pain or maybe more pain, but at least we have a chance to wake up to who we truly are. Otherwise, the life goes hunky dory, hunky dory. Who bothers? Who bothers? Who wants to find out the true nature? Nobody cares.
Yeah, but like as you're living, and you have relationships and children, like, like me, in the capacity of like as a teacher also for little 4-year-olds, these 8 points that you shared, like I don't know, it's so difficult to just remember that and be with that while you are engaging in the world, and even with children, relationships, everything, like you are trying to empower them. You're trying to teach justice, fair, ye, wo. And here it's like, the worldly way is uh, so wrong. Actually, it's such an illusion. And yet we are trained to live like that. And we also train our children, everybody. So, मुझे नहीं पता ये कैसे, इसमें, how to get this, because it is so messed up.
Yeah.
That, yeah,
So
Shweta.
Good
I
word.
have a question.
Good word.
I have a question. Yeah,
I think
along what
that's our
Shweta is
pain
saying.
and suffering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Sorry.
just,
Yeah.
I think Jasmine, Rakhi, and
Right.
Nandini,
Right.
three of us want to talk.
Sorry.
Maybe one by one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now Jasmine also has muted. Rakhi also has muted. Maybe Nandini's turn now.
I was just, wanting to say what Shweta is telling. I completely agree. मतलब आप कैसे करो ये? I mean, you know, you are, wanting to teach. You should learn first. You should. I mean, extremely difficult. So I relate to Shweta what she was saying. Yeah.
One thing which comes across again and again in teachings is not to worry, relax. Because in wanting to do now this goodness, now we have started to worry. So not to worry. Tenzin Palmo again and again shares, don't worry, sweetheart, don't worry. Again and again she tells. And because if we worry, we are again in the surface, caught in the same mess as Shweta was talking about, that how messed up we are. Just to recognize is very relaxed, that yes, this is like this, and let us just work on it. Very relaxed. Because if I'm tensed about this, then the whole purpose is defeated. And she shared one example of a shepherd that she saw while when she was meditating in her cave in long ago, that there was a shepherd who used to come with a lot of sheep, and the shepherd will open a bottle of beer, sit at a little hill, and all the sheep will come, go graze the field, and then when it's time, when they have grazed enough, they'll come back home along with the shepherd, and he does not need to bring back all the sheep. Ajao ajao ghar chale, no need for that. He's very relaxed. Has a good time with beer, and the sheep also have grazed much, and then they are back home. Now one day she shared that instead of the shepherd, some little boy came, and maybe the boy had a lot of pressure that no sheep should get lost and all the sheep should turn back home. So all the time what that little shepherd was trying to do is, don't go there, don't go there, trying to keep them collected. Now in trying to keep them collected, being tensed, first of all the sheep could not graze, so they were hungry. And he was totally tense all the time. So this was the example that she was sharing, that meditating or living a good life is like this. There is work to be done, but you are pretty relaxed about it, and the sheep graze the field, they come back, and then you go back home. But if we try to tuk, 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 do this, do that, keep ourselves very tense, then it doesn't serve the purpose. So I found that a very good example, that not taking it on our head at all. Then this becomes the particle instead of the wave and particle. Now this spiritual baggage becomes the particle, which weighs us down. So nothing is supposed to weigh us down. Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, I agree with this. So me and Shweta are college friends, by the way. And when Shweta, started, she said herself that she's going to, not, if it's okay, Shweta, for me to tell, she's not going to color her hair, and after, you know, after a long time, I was also tired of coloring, and I said, okay, now I am going to, okay, it is, whatever it is going to take, I'm going to stop this now. And I'm not going to bother, because I used to feel bothered. Acha, gray dikhna shuru ho gaya, somebody will tell. Even my children, school children, they'll say, टीचर कलर नहीं किया बाल, आज आपने कलर नहीं किया है, आपके बाल बहुत वाइट हो गए. तो I would start feeling, अच्छा, people are noticing, so I need to, color my hair. And now from the time I started, we were having online classes. So, it's very difficult for children to really have that kind of an observation when you are, online, you are on the computer. And now that we have started offline classes, we are physically meeting now. And now I'm very, very comfortable. It's more than like 1.5 years I've not colored, and I'm very comfortable with myself. Finally, I feel very happy that I've become comfortable with myself. And so one of the girls, she saw me. I'm, you know, was teaching, and she said, uh, "Teacher, your hair is so gray, na? You're not coloring?" So I said, "No, I'm not. It really looks good, na?" And I was surprised that I said that. It really looks good, na? She said, yeah, actually, teacher, it looks good. And then it just, neither I got worried, and the whole thing got just it's like kind of dissolved there. Her query, my worry, everything just got dissolved there itself. And I felt so good that I, rather than feeling anxious ki acha, now my children are going to physically meet me, and how are they going to, take this, because children have their kind, opinion. And I felt very good and comfortable about it. So yes, when you were saying, don't worry, things will fall in place. So many people now tell me that, Arey, this gray really looks good on you. I said, I mean, few months back, they were the only ones who were telling me, कैसी लग रही हो, क्या कर रही हो खुद को, ऐसे मत करो. And now they are coming and telling me, you took the right decision. This was good. So
Raki, one more suggestion I have. If you
hmm,
want to play around, shave your
hmm.
head and then see what happens, you know.
I don't mind. मेरे तो बहुत सारे plans है मेरे grey hair के साथ, different kind of hairstyle and short hair and boycott hair, ऐसे बहुत कुछ सोच के रखा है मैंने खुद के लिए. But ठीक है, with time I will continue to do that.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. Yes. So, Jasmine, you wanted to go next? You wanted to share something?
No, Mike, I think you kind of, I would like to reflect on the story that you shared for Shepherd. But my question along was, you know, how Shweta was saying it's so hard even with the kids, because in the situations where you have kind of control within yourself, it's okay. But in terms of action and stuff, daily living, you know, so other people are involved, you know, so it gets really hard. So I don't know how to handle that. I think that's my I think that's been my question constantly for the last year. Maybe it'll come to me, but in situations, I really don't know. You know, है तो वो बड़ी not practical but realistic सी situations are. You know, it's almost like I am going to put $100 in. You are putting the $100 in, and what are we going to do it? Like it's going to have an impact. बट मैं स्पिरिचुअली बोलूँ $100 मुझे इस तरफ डालने हैं पर दूसरे के 100 वो उस मतलब किसी डिफरेंट में डालने हैं. I'm saying I know it sounds monetary, but I don't. It's an example, but it's not about monetary, but it's about the situation. So there, I'm still struggling, and I thought, but maybe I need to. Maybe there's somewhere I need to go further deeper. You know, the pain is coming there. But your shepherd story, where you said, "Relax, don't worry. Maybe I'll try that." So I don't know, but I don't know how to handle those situations. I don't know, maybe I'm forcefully trying to put my spirituality there कि यार यहाँ चल क्यों नहीं रहा है sort of
You know,
thing.
Jasmine, एक चीज जो बार बार हमें परेशान करती है ना, जो कि the nature of the mind is jumping. It's jumping all the time, especially jumping to others. Now, if you look at whatever situation right now you're talking about and see that, okay, what is my work in here?
Yeah.
So instead of trying to fix the situation or the people involved, I see, okay, let me see what is here for me to learn. How I have to, what is this situation teaching me? I will tell you one particular, maybe I don't know if it resonates or not. So there was something which was very, very precious to me. And when I say very precious, I'm clinging. Basically,
That's true.
it's just an elitist way of saying it's very precious. You are very dear to me. It means that I'm clinging to something, right? Now that thing got taken away from me.
Mm.
It was very discomforting, very, very hard, a lot of inner turmoil, like twisting and turning in the heart. But I immediately the focus turned within, and I asked myself, okay, what is my learning here? And you would not believe, first of all, I got to know my learning. My learning was detachment in that
Mm.
particular one. And even if there is something which is precious to me, I can be okay without that. So
Mm.
that inner strength and detachment was my learning. And after I got this learning from within, immediately, as if the situation withered away like a dream.
Mm.
So the baggage it was giving me, which was causing me a lot of twisting and turning in the heart, when I
Mm.
was talking to myself that, oh my God, how could this be taken away from me? I gave it my heart. No, and
Mm.
suddenly I say that, okay, what is it teaching me? It is teaching me detachment. And suddenly everything felt very easy, very okay. So
Yeah,
I've seen that
that
if I turn my focus within myself, what is in here
mm.
for me, then somehow I find relief.
Mm. No, I think yeah, thank you. It makes sense.
And also we have to know that progress does not come easy. It's hard, because since we are so sticky everywhere now, lot of turmoil we have to go through, inner turmoil, because we are clinging to so many things that we don't even know. Only when they are taken away from us that we get to know that, oh, I was clinging to this. See, it hurts now, it going away, it's hurting. So unless that situation happens, I don't get to know how much I cling. And it humbles me, it grounds me, that I don't know what next. Maybe something next comes up and tells me that, wow, I was sticking here also. Very good for me. So and that's why the importance of taking refuge in, first of all, the inner stillness, inner peace, inner presence, through a object of devotion or whatever, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, to a community of friends, a little bit of, one friend here, one friend there, who can guide you in the positive direction, the right direction, who would not support your tendencies. A right friend is one who is very easy, who can say that, hey, here you are just becoming your tendency, it will hurt you, don't go there. A right friend will bring me again and again back home, and not sticking to the surface consciousness, which gives pain. So it's
Such a simple truth, but such a depth and such a painful thing to
painful, yeah.
practice. But
Yeah, yeah.
again, I think with that sense in the background that this is for a reason and for a learning. And I
Yes,
think what you shared was relax. I've been forcing the learning to come to me. The process has to be completed, I guess, in its own way. Mm.
yeah, yeah.
It's also the wisdom of Tao, no?
Sorry?
The wisdom of Tao. If you read that, it has everything like what you mentioned, yeah. So, many beautiful things. I don't remember the quotes, but when you read exactly this, like groundlessness, which you
Hmm.
talk about,
Hmm.
that is the only way to divine. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. And I think that's why people who are truly, people who are really have deeper realizations, I see most of, not that I have met many people like that, but I see the compassion oozing out of them, because they understand that, yeah, yes, Aradhana ji, thank you. They understand pain. They know that the journey is not easy. And that's why we have Mother with us, full of love. Mother says, no matter, whenever you want to come back, come back. Whenever, even if you are a sinner, terrorist, criminal, doesn't matter, come back. Full of love, non-judgmental love and understanding. Why? Because we all are sinners. We all go through so much of pain. So if I keep on judging, if Mother keeps on judging, this person is, then what's the point? So the divine never judges. And that's why the compassion, because we see that how much struggleful it is to give a new birth to ourselves. It's not easy. It's a path which is a bit difficult path, and it's a different matter that the more we chart ahead our journey, we can collaborate and the path can become sunlit path. But for most of us it comes with a lot of struggles and pain before it becomes sunlit. I'm sure it will become sunlit soon for all of us. Okay, so anything more, anyone? Okay, so have a good tea time. I think for those of us who are going for tea now, 4:30 for Indians, well, people in India, not Indians.
Absolutely. I better qualify.
Yeah, and good morning to Jasmine, or maybe you sleep
Uh,
again. I don't
yeah,
know.
I think I'll
Yeah,
have tea again.
yeah,
I need my tea. It's
yeah,
actually a nice time to wake up, you know. I love the quietness of this. It's
yeah.
beautiful, but then I get tired in the day. But it's
Yeah,
nice.
I
Yeah, it's
usually,
beautiful.
but whenever, for example, we have Monday sessions and
Mm.
7:15 is early for me, although
Oh,
I get up
really?
for the session. And then sometimes I also like this quiet time, what you're saying.
Yeah.
So what I do is in half trance, I go back again in the bed and lie down there for
Yeah.
1 or more hour. It's very
Mm.
relaxing to stay
Mm.
with the breath, stay as awareness, whether you're lying down, sitting, doesn't matter.
Mm.
It's very relaxing. Yeah.
Mm.
So
Thank you so
wishing
much
everyone all
for
the
the
best.
session.
Yeah, thank you for the
Thank
Thank you.
Yeah.
joining in. Yeah.
Monica, just one thing.
Ah,
For
thank you.
if for those of us who are in Bangalore, maybe we could sometime meet at the ashram,
Yeah,
if that's
sure.
something that
Alsur, no?
yeah, the Alsur one, yeah.
Yeah,
So
why not?
maybe
Why
for
not?
at some point of time, just to sit
Yeah.
together and
So
sort
I
of
can I
meditate.
can share Sharada ji's number and Aishwarya's number,
But,
and Jayashri ji is also here. So if she wants to meet, so I can share all these numbers with Nandini, and then Nandini can connect
Yeah.
with all of them. Yeah?
Chitra ji also, no?
Chitra ji is
Chitra ji
also. Yeah.
also. ठीक.
I'll
Badal also,
share.
no? Badal sir.
I think, yeah,
Badal
Badalji.
sir is also in
I
Oh,
think.
Bangalore.
he's in
Yeah.
Bangalore. Oh,
I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah.
okay. Okay. That would be nice. Yeah. We'll all
Yeah,
go.
It'll
that
be
would be really nice.
yeah, because actually 21st is mother's birthday,
Yeah.
but I think it'll be, I don't know about the ashram, but I'm not there, I'm in Pondicherry. But
Acha,
maybe
acha.
after that, when we
Yeah.
or
After
whoever,
that,
yeah, I mean, yeah, we
yeah.
could meet up or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before we used to go every Tuesday. Our
Okay.
arrangement.
I
At
used to go
Tiger.
every Sunday.
Acha, we used to come
Yeah.
on Tuesday, but now we stopped after this COVID. Yeah.
Okay, right. Yeah.
Yeah. My sister
Yeah.
comes every Wednesday.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye
Okay.
bye.
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 Bye. Yeah.